Okay. All right, welcome everybody. We are now streaming on Zoom as on Facebook Live. Right, so please tell us where you're viewing us from and tell us what level you teach, and also share with us, some of your eating habits as well. So feel free to tell us where you're from. We will be starting at 3:30, so we'll give 4 minutes. Invite your friends to join us, and we will start chatting with you in a little bit. So please tell us where you are viewing us from so that we can shout you out. So we have someone from Diego Martin. Welcome.
Hi, Diego Martin.
That's okay. We are welcoming everybody this session. Although it was done for 21st century educators, anybody is invited because it's such a topic that we need to discuss how to eat healthy and, get rid of some of those perceptions about it being expensive. All right, so welcome everybody. Tell us where you're from. We have participants in Zoom and we also have participants on Facebook, but we are not officially starting until 3:40. We'll have 3 minutes. So message your friends and tell them to make sure to join us. This is not a session they want. So we have someone from San Juan. Welcome. We have Alyssa from Arima. Welcome.
Hi, Alyssa.
And feel free to share with your various groups. We also have someone from Freeport. Welcome, Kay.
Thank you.
All right, 2 more minutes and then we start. Gabrielle, you want to check your microphone? We're not hearing you.
Hello, y'all can hear me? No? Are you hearing me now?
Very soft.
Very soft? Okay, just give me 2 seconds, okay?
Okay. Yes, we're hearing you now. Hello?
Yes, hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So welcome everybody. All right. So please tell us where you are viewing us from. We have a number of people here. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Eve. Hi, Alyssa. Welcome. Hi, Luan.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Right, so we start officially in 1 minute. And in the meantime, we do want you to tell us where you are viewing us from. We have Helen from Couva, whether you're on Zoom or on Facebook.
Anybody from Tacarigua, Twin City?
Not yet.
Okay.
All right. So it is now 3:30, and we'd like to officially welcome everyone to another session by 21st Century Educators. We are extremely happy to have with us Gabrielle Molyneux, and she is going to be talking about a very important topic today: healthy eating without breaking our budget. And we know as teachers, those are two things that sometimes, we struggle with, right? So we want to listen to her. Feel free to ask questions, leave your comments, whether you're on Zoom or on Facebook, and she will get to them. She has a really exciting presentation put together for us, and I will leave it up to Gabby, the expert, to take you through. So I will pop right back in at the end. So I'm handing you over officially to Gabby. So welcome everybody and thank you very much, Gabrielle, for doing this session. So I'm going to turn my camera off and hand you over.
Okay, hi everyone. Hi, my name is Gabrielle Molino. I'm a nutrition educator and health education blogger, and I'm so excited and so pumped to be here with you guys. Can I just see some thumbs up if you're ready, if you're excited to talk about this topic? Yeah? All right. So healthy eating on a budget. And usually when we think about healthy eating, we always think that it has to be these expensive foods, but I'm here to show you some simple ways that we could eat healthy on a budget without breaking your pockets. So here are some of the objectives that we're going to cover in this presentation. 1, learn the importance of healthy eating. 2, debunk common misconceptions about healthy eating. Highlight 5 simple tips on healthy eating on a budget, and most importantly, establish a happier and healthier relationship with food. All right, so before we do anything, I would always like to know what is the importance, what's the reason behind doing something? So what's the big deal with healthy eating? What's that all about? So the first point, it is expensive to be unhealthy. I know my Trinidadians here, we can attest to this. We know how expensive it is for those private hospital bills, the medication, if you may have to get some wheelchairs or something like that, and it generally decreases your quality of life if you are unhealthy. It also improves our energy level and our focus. As educators, we know how crazy the classroom could be. One child is probably pulling someone's hair, the next child is probably rolling on the ground, and your energy level has to sometimes be higher than theirs in order to keep up with them. So healthy eating can definitely help in that aspect. It strengthens our immune system. So we know the unfortunate times that we live in right now with this pandemic, and even with the flu season. By healthy eating, we eat different fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins that provide vitamins, minerals, and fiber that makes our immune system work at its optimum capacity. And lastly, it sets the example for the classroom. I don't know if anybody ever had this experience before. When you were a student, there was always that one teacher you always used to look up to. You always used to, everything you wanted to do, you wanted to be just like this teacher. If she combed her hair a certain way, if she ate certain foods, therefore, we as educators set the example for the children, and we definitely want our children to be healthy. And why not by them following us on what we do and what we eat? Y'all agree? Yeah? So a question to the audience. What is the weirdest thing you've ever heard about healthy eating? Let me know. Bring it on. Anybody heard anything weird before? I think the weirdest thing I've ever heard was that if you eat an apple before you eat a meal, the apple will stick into your throat and it will rot and you might die or something so crazy like that. And I was just like, what? So here are some common misconceptions that people usually say. Oh wait, I'm getting one comment here. Don't stand and eat. Yes, because if you stand and eat, all the food will go to your big toe. I heard that before, yes. Right, so these are some common misconceptions, and you can tell me if you've ever heard these things before. To stay away from flour, and flour is evil, and flour is bad, and that gluten-free is the way to go. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's fine if you eat flour. It's completely fine, but everything in moderation. What gluten is it's a protein found in most flours and most flour products, right? And that gives the product structure. So if you don't have something called celiac disease or you don't have gluten intolerance, then it's fine. You can go ahead and eat flour. Of course, there are some flours that are richer in nutrients and fiber, but it's okay, everything in moderation. What about a cleanse is needed? There's always some green juice detox diet that's always popping up. And I'm sure my Caribbean people here, we could attest to this. We always say that we need a purge. We need to take a purge. Y'all ever heard that before? I'm sure you all heard that before, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that the human body is amazing, and we have two very important organs that help us with this. One, the liver, and two, the kidneys. So these work to get rid of toxins in our body that we may get from the environment, that we may get from the food we eat, that may even be byproducts of chemical reactions in our body. So yes, you can juice, but try not to make it a regular thing, because when you juice, you actually lose fiber from the fruits and vegetables, and that's very important. And one other misconception is that eggs are bad, and we can't eat eggs anymore because it's so high in cholesterol and it would set up your cholesterol. Yes, egg yolks do have cholesterol, and if you already have high cholesterol issues, then instead of eating one egg every single day, maybe cut down your egg consumption to 2 eggs or 3 eggs for the week. However, if you don't have any high cholesterol issues, then it's fine. You can eat eggs. Eggs are actually a great source of protein. They're high in antioxidants, which helps prevent certain eye diseases. And eggs are also high in choline, which is very important for brain performance, which we talked about before. And the last misconception that we're here to talk about is that healthy eating is expensive. So here is where I'm going to give you guys 5 simple steps, and you'll realize how simple it is to eat healthy on a budget. You guys ready? Excited? Let me see some thumbs up. Okay, so the first step, plan and prepare. So the same way we as educators would plan and prepare students' lessons or their exams is the same way we're going to plan and prepare our menus and our shopping lists. So the first things first, menu planning. Some people may not really know how to plan a menu. It's very simple. Think about all the things that you like to eat. And I'm not talking about the cookies or the potato chips or anything like that. Think about common meals that you usually have. And I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I like variety. I simply cannot eat the same thing every single day. What I do is try to use the same ingredients, but use them in different meals. Therefore, when you go shopping in the supermarket or in the market, you don't have to buy a bunch of ingredients at the same time. So there you cut back on costs. Another thing that I do, when I go to the market, I buy 3 vegetables and 2 fruits, and I just use that throughout the week, and I try to plan my meals around them. So after you have your menu plan, then you do an inventory. So open your fridge, open the freezer, open the deep freezer, open the pantry, look at what you have. Majority of times we already have the products there, and we don't necessarily need to go and purchase more products. And I have here old front, new back. Now what does that mean? That means when you open the pantry, those products that may be expiring very soon, bring them to the front and put the newer products to the back. That way, the next time you open your pantry, you're going to use the item that is directly in front of you so that it doesn't pass the expiry date and then you have to throw it away. And once you throw away food, that's money going down the drain, and we definitely don't want that. So try that little trick next time. And then shopping list. So do you guys remember that song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town? When he makes his list and he checks it twice, right? So when you make your shopping list, check it twice, check it 3 times, check it 4 times, 5 times if you need to. Make sure that you stick to your shopping list. It's very important because those are the things that will keep you within budget. If sometimes you go to the supermarket and you might see something on the shelf and it's very pretty, the packaging, like it's very exciting and you would like to purchase it and it falls within budget, that's fine. However, if you have a slight shopping problem like me, maybe online services would be a better choice for you. So in terms of, we have several different online services. So all you have to do is WhatsApp them your order. They go to the grocery of your choice, they purchase everything, and they deliver it straight to your door. And if the grocery doesn't have the item, they call you and you could either substitute it or you could just cancel the order. So keep your eyes out. There are several different businesses that popped up during the pandemic here in Trinidad and Tobago. You just have to use social media and look out for it. Speaking of social media, deals. Several supermarkets post their deals on a daily basis. Maybe sign up for a membership card, sign up for a newsletter, for emails, and make use of those deals because you're going to be saving dollars in the long run. The unit price. Sometimes it will be better to purchase things in bulk compared to individual packets. So for example, if you're a regular buyer of yogurt, it may be better to purchase a bigger container of yogurt compared to the individual packets of yogurt because it saves more money in the long run. And then lastly, do not shop when you're hungry. I could admit to this. Remember when you shop when you're hungry, you're just seeing food and you want this item and you want that item and you just end up stocking up on a whole bunch of things that you don't normally eat. Am I right? Y'all agree with me? I feel like some people have done this before. So when you shop, when your stomach is satisfied and when you're full, you're more focused and you don't end up spending money on things that you don't necessarily need or even want to eat. Somebody said guilty as charged. I do buy when I'm hungry and I make poor decisions. All right, so next time carry a little snack, eat some lunch before you go. Plus it would give you energy to go shopping. So this is what I meant by a menu plan. So I just did a simple 3-day plan. And what you would see is a lot of the meals surround the same ingredients. So for example, in day 1 for breakfast, I have oatmeal porridge with veggie omelette. So in that veggie omelette, I will put things like spinach, tomato, onions. And that same spinach could be used in lunch for day 2. Where I have spinach rice, or what we call bhaji rice here in Trinidad, curried chicken, curried bodi, sliced cucumbers. Also pay close attention to the cheese-based sandwich, as later on I will show you how we can include vegetables in our cheese base. And then on day 3, I also have a vegetarian day. So I have a fruit and veg smoothie, which I will show you guys later on. Black bean tacos, which I had and they taste amazing, and a veggie lasagna. So a veggie lasagna could be made by slicing eggplant and roasting the eggplant slices. So instead of the pasta sheets, you're actually using the eggplant slices. And instead of mincemeat, maybe you could use lentil peas or you could use stir-fried vegetables. I am telling you, it tastes amazing. I'm sure some people are screwing up their face right now like, what is she talking about? Trust me, it tastes really, really good. Right. So this is a sample of a menu that you could choose for your family and you'll be good to go. So now that we're in the grocery, right? Sometimes we may go directly into the lane and start picking up a bunch of items that we don't necessarily need. So the first thing you need to do is go to the outskirts first, the outskirts of the grocery, because there is where there's going to be the fresh fruit and vegetables majority of the time. Somebody said if you're allergic to eggplant, what can you use? You can use zucchini. Zucchini is the only one that's coming to mind right now, right? So you're shopping on the outskirts, so you're filling up your grocery cart with fresh fruit and fresh vegetable first, and then you can go into the other aisles and pick up what you need. I have here a little quick tip. Do some exercise for your dollar. Now, what does that mean? Sometimes groceries actually place the most expensive item at eye level and the less expensive items either higher up or lower down on the shelf. So when we're in the grocery, we can add some exercise in. So we could do some calf raises and stretch for the less expensive item higher up, or we could squat down and reach for the less expensive item lower down on the shelf. So just be careful when you're shopping so that you compare prices of the same item, right? It might just be a brand that you don't know, but trust me, it's the same item and it will taste the same. A little technical difficulties. Okay, right. So shop for nutrient value. Same thing that I was talking about before. Sometimes you get distracted by packaging and some things may say extremely low in fat or what do they say? Low in added sugars. But what is very important is that we read our food labels. That would tell us if it's an actually good snack or good product to purchase. So what I have here is just a sample food label. So what you see here is the daily value percentage. Now the daily value percentage tells us the percentage of a certain nutrient out of a 2,000 calorie diet. Now that is just a guide that the manufacturing world uses to come up with these values. However, 2,000 calories may not be what your energy requirements are or even mine. But this is just a guide for us, or just a guide to help us purchase items. So you see the words that I have written in red. So the fat content, sodium, added sugars, these are the things that you want to look out for. So if these three things are between 5 to 10%, then it would be considered a good snack or a good product to use. However, if these three things are 20% and over, please put it back on the shelf. Don't even watch it. So somebody, can I explain added sugars? Right, okay, so added sugars is simply the sugars that they added during the manufacturing process. It's not the sugars that are naturally found in the food item or in the fruit or whatever it may be. So that comes to things like white sugar, brown sugar, honey, molasses. It doesn't matter because it's all added during the manufacturing process, right? So even though the total sugars is 6 here, that is what comes from the product versus 0 added sugar, so they didn't add any in. I hope that answered your question. Let me know if that answered your question. Is it 20% in total or of each three things? So it's 20% of each three. So if fat content was 20% and over, sodium, well, you see sodium here is 37%, so that's a big no-no. And added sugar is 0. So you have to look at them individually. And yes, it may take some extra time, but remember, it will be beneficial for you in the long run, especially if you're cooking or if you and yourself has high blood pressure, because you know that sodium would affect that. Yeah, Marilyn, did I help you there? I heard that somebody is not feeling the veggie lasagna. I'll make it for you. Trust me, you'll like it. So then we have the vitamins and minerals. That's what's very important. So this is the one that you would like to have 20% and over in the daily value compared to the others. So let me just, everybody understand, or would you like me to go over the food label reading? Yeah? Okay, I'm not seeing any comments. I think we're all good here, so I'll move on from this one. Oh, wait, we have one comment. Go over, okay, no problem. So the daily value percentage is the nutrients that are in this particular product over a 2,000 calorie diet, right? And that's just a guide that the manufacturing world uses to come up with these values. So fat content, sodium, added sugars, you want those things to be between 5 to 10% daily value. However, if any of these things are 20% and over daily value, then definitely put it back on the shelf. Don't even look it past. Collect 200 and pass go, right? And then the vitamins and minerals, those are the things that you would want 20% and over. If the vitamins and minerals don't necessarily have 20% and over, then it's fine, but ideally it should be 20% and over. So are we good there? Let me know, let me know. Good, okay, great. Right, great. Okay, so here, choose different protein options. Usually the meats are the most expensive thing on our grocery bill. I remember one time my mom went shopping for salmon and it was like about this big and the salmon was $350 TT. I was like, that's the whole grocery bill right there. That's half your money gone, right? So instead of purchasing probably expensive chicken breast or salmon, which we know are the leaner meats, how about choosing different protein options? So I have here chana or chickpeas, red beans, which is used in a variety of Caribbean cuisine, and black beans, just like the black beans taco that I spoke about before. So peas and beans, which we call the legume group, they also contain protein and they taste very great because we know, Trinis, we know doubles, the chana, boiled chana, we know, right? We also have canned foods. So I have a picture of tuna here. Now the thing with canned foods is you want to choose something that is not soaked in brine or soaked in oil because that's a lot of preservatives that they use. So you'd want to look for something that is soaked in water or in water. Or even if you're purchasing canned fruit, look for something that is in its own juice compared to in syrup or in something with added sugar. And then at the bottom here, I have a picture of a rotisserie chicken. I know that sometimes when we're driving home from work, we're very tired and there's nothing in the kitchen, there's nothing made, there's nothing prepared, and we just pop into the grocery and pick up that rotisserie chicken, right? It comes in handy. But I'm here to tell you that it's fine if you purchase rotisserie chicken, totally fine. But you can also eat other parts of the chicken if they're less expensive. So the leg, the thigh, the wing. What you would need to do when you're purchasing other chicken parts besides breast is just clean it, meaning take off the skin and take off all the visible parts of fat on it so that it reduces those fatty parts. It's a little bit healthier and could come up to the chicken breast, right? Okay, and the last step in planning and preparing, meal preparation. Now, usually when people hear meal preparation, they think like, oh gosh, I have to be in the kitchen for the whole day and I have to make a dozen meals. No, it's very simple. Just you cut up all your fruits and vegetables, you put all your rice to cook at the same time, all the pasta, you push the chicken in the oven, and it's just a quick thing. You don't want to be standing up in the kitchen for the entire day. No, but I definitely wouldn't want to do that. And secondly, invest in some Tupperware. This will save your life, right? Because these Tupperware come in different sizes. So you could have one for snack, one for lunch, one for dinner. And when you have extra, you can put it in the freezer. Your freezer is your best friend. So what I do when I have extra peas or extra rice, I would put it either in these containers or put it in a Ziploc bag, date it, and then place it in the freezer. So the next time I'm running out or I would like some of that food, you just take it out and reheat it and you're good to go. Now, step 2. I hope you're taking down notes, right? Because we're dropping some serious gems here. Time to cook. The healthier cooking methods are baking, roasting, boiling, and poaching. What these things have in common is that they use less oil. right? Compared to deep frying or frying that we may do, or sometimes we may even do these cooking methods already. And personally, I really like baking because that's less pots and pans for me to clean after. I don't know if you could agree with me. Thumbs up if you agree. Less things to wash. That's always good. And easy on the salts and the flavor packets. So that means, I'm sure that you all heard this before, that Trinidadians don't know the real taste of food because we use so much salt. I'm sure somebody heard that before, right? And I would say that's true because sometimes when we're cooking, and say we have 4 items on the stove, we use a little salt here, we use a little salt there, and then we just go on, and then that salt actually adds up and it can affect our blood pressure. And even in flavor packets, if you ever read a flavor packets before, you would see that the first ingredient is actually salt. And if it's the first ingredient, that means that majority of that flavor packet is made up of salt. So what we would like to do instead is cut the salt usage in half. Actually, the recommended daily allowance for salt is approximately 1 teaspoon. Whoa, and I'm sure we're probably cooking with way more than 1 teaspoon. Salt has a very detrimental effect on our blood pressure, and cardiovascular disease is one of the #1 killers in Trinidad and Tobago. So we need to be very mindful with our salt intake. So next time you're cooking, somebody asks, is there healthy salt? I like that question. I'm gonna answer it in 2 seconds. Next time you're cooking, we could use fresh seasoning. You have your chive, your celery, shadow benny. You could also use other flavor packets like dried seasoning. However, I went to the grocery the other day and I picked up some, onion powder and garlic powder. And when I tasted it, it was salty and I was just like, but why does this taste like this? And I realized that they actually had some salt grains in it, but they didn't put the ingredients list. So next time you pick it up, just be careful if you see some white crystals, or even if you see like a small white rice grain, something looking like a rice grain, that could be MSG in it. And MSG has the same effect on our blood pressure, just like salt and sodium. To answer your question, if there's a healthy salt, there are some salts like the Himalayan salt that you mentioned in the comments that do have more minerals in it that gives it that pink color. However, at the end of the day, you'll have to use a large excessive amount of that salt in order to gain the minerals and nutrients in the salt. So it would have the same effect on your body. So at the end of the day, salt is salt, and if taken in excessive amounts, it would have the same effect on your health. And if using an air fryer is healthy, yes, you can use an air fryer to fry your foods if you like that crunchy fried chicken without the excessive amount of oil. And here I have start small. Now I know there may be some people in here that they don't really know how to cook, and that's fine. You don't have to be Chef Ramsay. It's cool. You could just boil some rice, roast some chicken, steam some vegetables, start small, and then you can grow from there. Okay, right. So here I have some easy food swaps you can do in the kitchen. So the first one is, instead of using high sodium soy sauce, you could use Chinese 5-spice powder. So I actually made fried rice the other day. So instead of using the instead of using the soy sauce, I used the 5-spice powder and it gave it a great flavor. Instead of frying plantains, which I know we love to do, they taste so good, but that excessive amount of oil, again, that's what we don't want. So instead of frying it, we could bake it. We could even put a little bit of cinnamon. If you wish, you could brush it with a little bit of oil and push it in the oven for it to bake, and it gives that same crispy, wonderful flavor. Instead of sugar, if you're baking and the recipe may call for sugar, you can cut the amount of sugar in half and probably use a ripe banana, or you can even use applesauce if you have it on hand. So instead of the refined sugars, you can use a source of natural sugars. Also, I have saltfish buljol, which is a very popular breakfast item here in Trinidad, but we use the salted cod. And no matter if you boil the salted cod from now till this evening, there would still be some source of salt or sodium in the salt fish. So instead of using the salted cod, you can use fresh white fish. You could boil it the same way you would boil the salted cod until it's tender, then strain it. Then you flake it up the same way and you add your tomatoes, your onions, sweet peppers, the same way that you would make saltfish, and it tastes great, same way. You have here pizza. Now, what I did on my blog recently, I created a way to eat more ground provisions because they are very high in fiber and different nutrients compared to the refined flour. So instead of pizza made with refined flour, I actually have pizza made out of sweet potato. So I'll post the recipe on the blog, make sure that you follow it after so that you can see how to make it on your own. And it tastes really good, really. If you love sweet potato, you will love that pizza. And then you could put different toppings on it, so like pineapple, chicken, whatever you wish. And the last one is mashed potato. So usually when people are making mashed potato, they put a lot of cheese and milk and butter. But this one is not really a swap, but it's more an addition. So next time you're making sweet potato, to increase your vegetable consumption, you could put some steamed cauliflower in there. I promise you would not taste it. Okay, you would not taste it. You would taste the sweet potato. And instead of probably using the butter, you can use a little bit of oil and mash it up and add your seasonings to it. Very light on the salt though. Remember, we're being light on the salt. Right, so now I have a question for the audience. Between coconut oil and olive oil, which is the better oil? Let me hear. What do you guys think? Anyone? I see the answers coming in hot and ready. Olive oil. Somebody said olive oil. Somebody said coconut oil. Facebook, my Facebook family. What do you guys say? Olive oil or coconut oil? Alicia said it depends on what you're doing. Okay. Okay, so I'm here to tell you guys, you ready for the answer? It doesn't matter which type of oil you're using, right? Yes, olive oil has more what we call monounsaturated fats or the healthier fats, while coconut oil is it's higher in saturated fats or the more dangerous fats. However, coconut oil is a bit unique in its structure, whereby while it does have saturated fats or the dangerous fats that we call it, it also has the healthier fats, which reduce the effect the dangerous fats will have on our arteries. So it is fine to use, and it is fine to use olive oil as well. However, it all depends on the amount of oil we're cooking with. Because usually we know how we are in the kitchen, we add a little bit of oil in this pot, in that pot, grease the dishes before we bake items. When we're making macaroni pie or when we're making cuckoo or something like that, there's always some oil found in every dish. So the recommended daily allowance for oil and fat is 5 to 6 teaspoons for females and 6 to 7 teaspoons for males, right? Sometimes, well, majority of the times, olive oil is very expensive. So besides coconut oil, I have here other options that you could purchase. So we have soybean oil, sunflower, canola, corn. They're all vegetable based. But we would like some oils and fats to stay away from are those hard salted butters and margarines. Now in Trinidad, I'm not too sure about the rest of the Caribbean. There's this orange colored margarine that we love to cook with. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That gives it that nice flavor and it's nice and salty and it's deep orange. That one you would definitely want to stay away from because it's so high in sodium. And if you didn't know, avocado is actually a fat. Yes, our zabuka is a fat. And one avocado can add up to 300 calories. Imagine that. So now that we know how to cook and we purchase our items, what about portion control? How are we going to place these items in our bowls or on our plates? Now, before I start, let me define portion control. Portion control is the appropriate amount of food needed on our plates, as this provides the correct amount of nutrients for our bodies, right? So on the left, we have here some lovely stewed oxtail. We have those fried plantains, vegetable rice, macaroni pie, and then we have the avocados in the back. And then let's be real, sometimes we really just feel for a pizza and we end up sitting down with the pizza and eating 3 or 4 slices. So these plates are actually not in control, they're out of portions. Let me show you what an unhealthy plate should look like. This is what it is. So here we have half of the plate for fruits and vegetables. However, here tomato is considered a fruit. So yes, fruits and vegetables. And then a quarter of a plate for staples. So that would be things like your rice, your ground provisions, macaroni, bread, corn. Corn is also considered a staple. And then another quarter of your plate for a source of protein. So this was my plate a few weeks ago. I had some brown rice, grilled jerk fish, and some steamed body and sliced tomatoes. And on the other side, I also made a power bowl. So this was a vegan power bowl. So I had some grated carrots, sliced cucumbers, that is mango and tomato salsa, some boiled chana, and I made eddos and sweet potato wedges. So I just seasoned them and I pushed them in the oven for about 30 minutes and they tasted amazing. So if you all think that we could eat our food like this, then this is a good portion for us to eat? Yeah? So somebody is asking if coconut oil is better for frying as opposed to the other vegetable oil. Yes, it is. It's fine. The only oil that you may get some problems with is the olive oil because it can't take high temperatures, so it will burn really quickly compared to the other oils. Right. So what about snacks? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm studying or when I'm very busy, I always find something to munch on, and it's always some sweet snack because I have a sweet tooth. We have here popcorn. Microwave popcorn is more convenient. However, microwave popcorn is very high in salt and very high in butter. So a way to come around that is by using simple items, a brown paper bag, and some corn kernels, about 1/4 cup of corn kernels. You push it in the paper bag, you fold it up and you secure it, and you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 45 seconds, depending on your microwave. And there you go. You have freshly made popcorn without any added oil or any added salt, and you can add your own flavors to it. So here in the picture, I added cinnamon, nutmeg, and like a dash of powdered sugar, and it tasted really good. So it could be an alternative to caramel popcorn or those different colored popcorn. A trail mix, you can either purchase a trail mix or you can make one at home. The only thing with trail mixes are that the nuts are very high in fat, so healthy fats, but they're still high in fat. So we need to be very careful with the portion sizes for the trail mix. So I would say about a cup, or if you're eating it out of the pack, you could split the pack in half, eat half now, take a walk, and then eat the other half later. Remember the fruit and vegetable smoothie I was talking about before. So the smoothie that you see here is actually made out of pumpkin, mango, oats, cinnamon, nutmeg, and some milk. And I call it the pumpkin sunrise because it looks just as pretty as the sun and it tastes amazing. I will share the recipe with you guys if you're interested. Now, remember when I was showing you the menu plan, I spoke about the cheese paste. So this is what I was talking about. You know, sometimes when we're making cheese paste sandwiches, we may use food coloring to make a rainbow cheese paste sandwich. But instead of using the food coloring, we can actually use vegetables to color it. So for the purple or the red, I used beets. So I just boiled the beets and I blended it up to make it, you know, a little more liquefied, and then I mixed it with the cheese paste. For the green, I used sweet peppers and pak choi. The pak choi I didn't really like too much, but if you like pak choi, it will taste really good. Instead of using pak choi or sweet peppers, you could also use Christophine. And for the orange or yellow, I used carrots. So the same way I did the beets, I did the other vegetables. So this has the added benefits of fiber, and it also provides antioxidants, which helps to prevent non-communicable diseases. And the last picture here, good old vital supplies. You know, you could either have whole grain crackers or whole wheat crackers. You could put some peanut butter on it with slices of banana, or you could have slices of cheese. I must mention, however, if you're eating this particular brand of crackers, 6 crackers would be considered 1 serving. Also, if you're at school, in order to avoid purchasing snacks at the cafeteria, what you could do is probably bring these items. So have your trail mix in the refrigerator, or have the brown paper bags and the corn kernels in the teacher's lounge. So whenever you get a break, you could just pop in, make it, and snack on it instead of having to purchase something at the cafeteria. If we're going good, can I see some thumbs up? You'll enjoy any points? Yeah, some things that you may try now. Seeing some questions. Okay, so for the brown paper bag, let me just go back for somebody. Hold on. Okay, so for the brown paper bag, right? You just need 1 brown paper bag. I think here I use the 3-pound bag and some corn kernels. So I used 1/4 cup corn kernels, placed it in the bag. Then I folded the bag twice. I secured it. Don't use anything metal, use something microwave proof. And then I placed it in the microwave, and I microwaved it for 2 minutes, or you may have to put it for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It all depends on your microwave. One way to know if it's finished cooking is if you hear less popping, then most likely the popcorn is finished. Don't burn the popcorn, right? Yeah, any more questions about the snacks? Good, okay, great. So I have here, sometimes we would like to eat outside of the home, and that's fine. However, when we're eating outside of the home, it's very important to control your portions, because we know how big those meals are. They come in super size now and upsize. So if you're having, let's say we're having pasta, what I do is I actually split the pasta in half on my plate. So I eat half now, and then I'll bag it up to go so I can eat it later. Or probably I could share it with my brother when I get home. Even for pizza, you can have 2 slices, then you could wrap up the rest of slices and try to share it with others, or if you're having it later down in the week. Keep your sauces separate. Majority of the times, the sauces that are made in restaurants are very high in salt, or they're high in sugar, or they're very oily. So next time you could tell the waiter or the waitress to just keep the sauce to the side, so therefore you could control how much sauce goes on the food. And opt for the vegetarian option. If you opt for this, say if you're ordering pizza, instead of ordering, you know, a chicken pizza, you can order a Hawaiian and jalapeno pizza. That way you get to increase the amount of vegetables that you're eating, and majority of times, the vegetarian option would be less expensive. And that's what we're here for. We're not wasting those dollars, right? Okay, another very important point is to rethink your drink. Now, I just thought that this graphic was very important because we tend to consume a lot of sweetened beverages here. You know, there's a certain red colored soft drink that we have to drink when we eat a certain breakfast item. For men, the recommended amount of added sugar for the day is 9 teaspoons, and for women, it's 6 teaspoons. So what does that look like in terms of drinks that we have here? So I have this in descending order. So the dark colored cola is 16 teaspoons. Usually the 20 ounce usually has about around 16 teaspoons of added sugar. Sports drinks would have about 9 teaspoons of added sugar. Juice drinks would have 5 teaspoons of added sugar. And then we have my good friend, Mr. Water, at the end with 0 teaspoons of added sugar. So we see here which one is the best drink, and that's water. However, if you're drinking the other drinks, it's completely fine. But as I said before, everything in moderation, right? Exactly. Then there's a recommended daily allowance for caffeine, and I'm sure we have some coffee drinkers in the house. I'm sure. So why is there a recommended daily allowance for caffeine? Because caffeine can actually cause irritability in your heartbeat. So it can cause irregular heartbeat movements, and it could, in some people, it actually causes your heartbeat to race. So the recommended daily allowance for caffeine is 400 milligrams. What does that look like in terms of cups of coffee? It's about 3.7 to 4 cups of 8 ounces of coffee. I stress on the 8 ounces, not the 16 ounce or the 12 ounce, 8 ounces, that's a small cup, right? And then the recommended daily allowance for alcohol. It's a bit different here. So 1 drink per day for women and 2 drinks per day for men. And what is a drink? So a drink is, it would be 12 ounces of beer, so that's 1 beer, 9 to 8 fluid ounces of malt liquor, 5 fluid ounces of table wine, and 1.5 fluid ounces of 80% proof distilled rum. So distilled spirit, sorry. So that would be things like tequila, rum, vodka, whiskey, etc. I saw a question popped up. Do you mind typing your question again? Somebody just asked a question on Zoom. I see that people want the recipes. Yes, they're coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. I will send you recipes. You'll see them. Okay. Okay, so the question is here again. Just, yes, that particular brand that you're talking about, yes, it has caffeine in it. Yes, it does. And then some people, they actually, I don't know why they do this. They would take their energy drinks and mix it with alcohol. That would have an even more detrimental effect on you, because the caffeine in energy drinks actually mask how drunk or how intoxicated we are. So you think that you're not intoxicated and you end up drinking more. Right. So for the last point, avoid wastage, because wasted food is wasted money, and that's what we're not here for at all. So use the wilting veggies. Sometimes we open the drawer, the vegetable drawer, and we have the cabbage is spoiling, the pumpkin is spoiling. How many times have you seen that before and you're like, oh shucks, I need to use this in something? So you could use it in your soups, or you could use it in a smoothie. You could also use your overripe fruits. So mango season just passed, or if some people still have mangoes, sometimes we leave the mangoes on top of the counter and we just forget about it. And then it ends up with black spots and soft spots, and we don't want it again. We want to throw it away. But instead of that, what I simply did was use the overripe mangoes to make a lovely and very tasty mango sorbet. So what I did was chop up the mangoes, place it in the freezer, then thaw it out, and blend it with some lime juice and some mint, and then I place it back in the freezer. And there you go, you have your own homemade sorbet without any added sugar. And when I tell you, it tastes amazing. I wish I could share it with you. And then we also have used peels and scraps. So one way you could do this is by making your own flavored water. So what I do is when I get pineapples and you peel the pineapple so you have the skin, you could just wash it and you put it to boil with some water, a few pieces of ginger, some nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, even bay leaf if you have. So you bring that to a boil and then you turn off the heat and you leave it to steep overnight. And then the next day, you could strain it. You could even put a splash of, you could put some orange juice. You could squeeze some orange in there. And there you have it, your own flavored water, because sometimes we do get tired of the plain water and its taste. So that's one way you could spice up your water. Then we also have grow your own. Have your own little kitchen garden. Therefore, you will need to go and purchase anything. Well, purchase the vegetables that you already have. And there are lots of different businesses now that are having free seedling distribution. So take advantage of that. You could also take out the seeds. So say if you cut up sweet pepper, you could use the seeds and plant it, or you could just slice the tomatoes, cover it with soil, and it will grow into a tomato plant. You could cut the ends of chive and plant it. So you have your own chive there. And guys, trust me, you do not need a bunch of land to do this. You could use old buckets, old containers. Once you get some soil or manure and you have sunshine and water, you're good to go. And the last point is a compost bin. So using the fruit and vegetable scraps that we have, we can mix that with some soil, with old newspaper, wood shavings if you have manure, and mix it until it decomposes and it comes to like a fine product. If you're not too sure how to do it, the University of the West Indies, they will be willing to help you. And the University of YouTube has several videos there, and it can help you how to make your own compost. And if you make compost, you could also, sell it on the side, get some extra cash flowing in. Yeah, what do you think about that? Right. So I've come to the end of my presentation, guys. It was so fun. So I'm just gonna go through a quick summary of what we talked about. So 1, prepare in order to prevent. So your shopping list, your menu planning, doing the inventory, sticking to the outskirts of the supermarket. Secondly, be open-minded about new cooking styles and recipes. And yes, I will place the recipes. You'll see them, and trust me. Control your portions. Remember, half of your plate for fruits and vegetables, a quarter of your plate for staples, and a quarter of your plate for your protein options. Be mindful while at restaurants and or ordering takeout foods. Remember, keep the sauce at the side. Rethink those drinks. Remember that. And food wasted is money wasted, right? My contact information is here. You can follow me on Facebook, Balance Bits with Gabs. That's my health and wellness blog on Facebook, where I'll be posting all the recipes that I talked about. Plus, I'll be posting new recipes every Sunday, and I discuss different topics relating to nutrition. You can follow me if you're on Instagram. You can follow me at Gabs Molyneux, where I do all the work that I do. You'll be able to see it. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Gabrielle Molyneux. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to work with me, you can email me at gabbymolyneux@hotmail.com. Now, thank you for being so attentive. Thank you for all your questions. It was a pleasure doing this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned a lot of new things, or maybe you knew some of the things before, so you could start implementing it and saving those dollars. Right, so questions. Thank you, Marilyn.
Gabrielle, just sharing some feedback from Facebook.
Okay.
Lots of persons commenting on how informative it was, and they're saying thanks. They're saying it's truly informative and empowering. Thank you very much. Love this. Somebody's mentioning that controlling your portion is key. An excellent presentation, great presentation. Truly enjoyed this presentation. It's a push in the right direction. The comments are coming fast and furious, trying to read them all. Excellent presentation, very good. Thank you, very good presentation. So I think we can be sure to say, well done.
It was well, yes, thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
And if you all have questions, or even what would you like to see Gabrielle do next? I know lots of people are asking for your recipes, so maybe we have to have a little cookout or something, I don't know.
A live cooking session.
A live cooking session, right? So if you have particular things where, Gabrielle can come and present, or we have a question. So someone is asking, is it bad to have meat and peas in one meal since they're both proteins?
No, it's not bad to have meat and peas in one meal, but however, you would want to have it in the same 1/4 of your plate, right? So sometimes when we're, say, Sunday lunch in Trinidad, we know how we could add peas and then there's a huge piece of meat. Maybe cut down on the size of meat and then increase your peas and beans because they are a little bit higher in fiber, which will help to keep you full for longer. So it's fine if you eat peas and beans, but just keep it within the portion size. Someone has a question here on Zoom. For someone who has to change their diet, how can we get guided meal plans? You would have to talk to a dietitian for an individualized meal plan because it will be based on your height, your weight, your goals, etc. If you can send me a message on Facebook after, or you can email me. Let me just put up my contact information. You can email me. I'll be able to recommend dietitians for you. Yeah.
And lots of people are asking for meal plans. So they would love a full session on meal plans and a cooking session as well. So we can see, and we also may have someone coming to talk about how to grow your own garden soon in a very small space. So look out for that, because as educators, we want to talk about being well-rounded, not just in the classroom, but taking care of ourselves. All right. So are there any more questions or comments? If not, I would really, really like to thank Gabrielle for an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And I just looking at the comments, I know that persons did enjoy it. So we would look forward to having another session with you in the future. All right. So please check her out at Balance Bits with Gabs. Check her out on Instagram, check her out on LinkedIn, and feel free to send her a message. You can also contact us here on 21st Century Educators for any further information that you may have missed. And I guess we will see you another time. So that's it.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much again.